The people voted for a Conservative government. They put them in with a majority of 80. And one of the big pledges was to deal with illegal immigration. Now, of course, that can take place in the back of lorries. It can take place in all sorts of ways. But the most visible of all of those are the boats coming across the channel. 111 people confirmed to have crossed yesterday. As I speak, there is an RNLI lifeboat coming into Dover. We're through 10,000 for this year. Who knows what it'll be? It could even be 100,000 people. The government's big attempt to stop this, to stop the criminal gangs, to stop this trade, and indeed, let's be honest, to stop the drownings in the Channel, is their Rwanda policy. It is to send those to Rwanda who would never have a chance, in their view, of qualifying for refugee status. And yet, they're being met with a wall of opposition. In fact, deporting anybody who's here illegally, who's overstayed their visa, or even committed criminal offences, now sees extraordinary street protests. We saw this in Peckham at the weekend. The police went to pick up somebody who'd overstayed their visa, and a mob in the street attacked the police. We've seen similar scenes at Gatwick Airport, where there is a detention centre for those who might get sent tomorrow to Rwanda. And the whole thing's extraordinary. 130 people were due to be on that flight tomorrow. Last I heard, it's down to 8 or 9. A whole series of challenges have been issued, despite the fact the government has won twice in court over the legality of these flights going. And yet, because of not just the Human Rights Act and not just the incorporation of the ECHR into British law, but now the Modern Slavery Act is being invoked in many of these cases. Quite why these flights are due to go from Gatwick or Stansted, where we could see public protest, and not going from Brize Norton or a military base, is, I guess, something of an argument that must be going on between Priti Patel and Ben Wallace, our Defence Secretary. But it does seem to me that if you have an elected government of a country that makes a decision and has ministers that wants to put into place the will of the people, and please, Prince Charles, take note. You know, the Archbishop of Canterbury I've given up on a long time ago, but when Prince Charles says it's appalling, these flights should go to Rwanda, perhaps he ought to be reminded that the vast majority of those in the Mall last weekend would take a different view. But is this country run by the people electing a government, or is it run by judges in our new, modern, Blairite Britain? So you please, folks at home, tell me, give me your opinion. Who's in charge? You, the voters, or the judges? Farage at gbnews.uk.